disclaimer on this one. I hate Enneagrams. Myers Briggs all the way. But since we have a lot of Enneagram lovers out there, we're going to do our
and in here.
And in here?
Yeah, I think the table is split. And so Myers Briggs and Enneagram.
There we go.
Okay. Well, welcome Tyler back onto the podcast here.
Good to be
missed
here.
you. It's been a while. Yeah. All right. And Gunnar.
Hey, man.
This
Author
episode,
of Chuck's Chair.
Amazon.com, Chuck's Chair.
Keep the joke going.
Leave a review, Kindle
5
available.
stars.
Yeah, beautiful. All right. So, we're going to talk about Enneagrams dealing with stress in the coronavirus. So we're going to go through all 9 of them. We're going to talk about their stress and what they need to do maybe to overcome stress. Or maybe we're just going to make fun of it every single Enneagram.
Yeah,
I think you have to do both.
Yeah.
And I think with Myers Briggs, with Enneagram, love languages, you have to have a sense of humor about it because in reality, it's not going to define you. So you can't be super serious about it. Just got to be hard about it.
Okay, so our goal then is to, if you're stressed right now, you should listen to this podcast and we should push you to the brink of panic attack.
Exactly.
Is our goal, right?
So do we think like the comments is going to be full of angry number 8s?
No, I think an 8 would just disregard it. I think 1s would probably be a little pissed off because it's not right for us or just of us to kind of make fun of it the whole time. I think 7s would ignore it. 2s would contribute. 3s would say they're better. 4s would step outside of it.
And
I don't know what 5s and 6s would do.
5s will listen to it for the dark humor and to make fun of all the other imperfect numbers.
Drinking scotch in a dark room.
Yeah.
Clear this up for me real quick, because I'm a little bit less familiar with Enneagram. Is it just the discount Myers-Briggs for Christians that they dipped into 15 years later after Myers-Briggs got really popular?
Was Myers-Briggs popular in the Christian circle back in the day?
No, it was just like the pentagram wasn't, but now we got the pentagram and an Enneagram version.
I do feel like a Christian came along and said, "Oh, I like the Myers-Briggs, but they don't say Jesus in it, so we need one that says Jesus in it." Voila, Enneagram.
I mean, Enneagram has been around for thousands of years. It is a thing that different cultures have used for.
Yeah, but I'm sure someone was stoned at some point.
Look it up on the computer.
I bet they call that guy pagan.
Like the personality. I mean, first of all, the whole thing looks like the Star of Satan.
Yeah.
So why did you even come up with that? Like, if you're a Christian.
Well, we've never been good at marketing. So
like this connects to to like wing 8, wing 9, wing 7. It's like, okay. Do we know what that looks like? Can we come up with any other way to display this?
We're taking it back.
Oh, yeah.
How are these numbers stressed in Corona?
Yep.
All right. Are we rolling through these?
Let's do it. Type 1.
Type 1. Gunnar.
So type 1, stress, they go to 5 in stress. That's every number has a number they go to either in stress or on health. And a 1 is, so they go to 5 in stress, which means they're probably actually maybe indulging in dark humor movies or in, different accounts on Instagram that have a bit more of a dark humor, or reading a book on Winston Churchill, trying to figure out the way that other people have handled crisis or have handled pandemics in the past, but also not sharing that information with anyone because no one else can handle it. And if they're not doing that, they're probably baking cookies that are baked to perfection or something like that. That's
cookies
probably
and dark humor.
They're either reading books about dark humor or making cookies that taste good for everybody. That's probably one of the 2 directions they're going.
What is the nickname for the 1?
The Perfectionist, I believe.
The Perfectionist.
Yes.
You already stressed me out by that title.
That's right.
I mean, who is not stressed out by being the Perfectionist?
That's very true.
So this feels like a lose-lose for you.
Yeah, exactly.
Like even in a time of peace and tranquility, you're kind of screwed.
A little screwed. Well, and I think that's why right now a lot of 1s are probably really quiet because they're so stressed out by how imperfect everything is that they're just about to implode.
You said the dark humor. Are they the ones posting all the memes right now? Are they like the ones pushing that front?
Maybe, possibly.
Okay,
possibly. I won't.
I think there's a couple different ones on here.
Yeah, there's a couple of different ones. I would put it on them to post a few, but not most.
So if you're a 1, what can you do?
I mean, if you're a 1, I think the best thing to do is really, if we're being serious about it, have the mantra of don't waste a good crisis. Like, don't waste time avoiding all the imperfections or avoiding all of the bad parts, but actually use this time to control the things you can control, maybe even learn a little bit about controlling the things you can't control and not giving a shit about the things that you have no control over. I think this is a great time for all numbers, but maybe especially 1 to really do some of the self-care and the hard work of how can I have a healthy life on the other side of this crisis in which I'm not always paying attention to what's wrong, what's falling short, what's not just right enough, and can just control the controllables and let the rest be the rest.
Nice. So a little bit of learning the art of chill.
Exactly, a little bit. Just like not the like slothful chill, but just learning how to
Be at peace with
relinquish
it.
control. I can't control that, but I can control my brownie recipe. So
Absolutely.
I'll work on that.
Okay.
So real quick, what Enneagram type are you?
So I'm a 2.
Okay.
Wing 3. No part of me goes to 1.
Okay.
Except for I really get anxious if I'm late to things. So I really try not to be late. That's like my one thing. Don't be late to
You're
stuff.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna hit on the 2 now, which is the helper.
Look right
and
at me.
you just help me with
Yeah,
this.
okay.
And tell me if I am wrong.
Okay.
I could be very wrong. My wife is a 2, and so
Is
I'm
she in here
wrong
still?
often. She's downstairs with the baby.
Okay, Caitlin.
Okay, so 2s right now are pressing into their stress and checking in on all their friends.
Uh-huh.
They've got like a weekly routine. They're calling them. Are you
Okay.
okay? Do you need anything? All the toilet paper that we've given, like we've stockpiled, she's handed out in care packages.
Y'all brought some to my house the other day.
Yeah, it's true. It was a party favor.
I thought you were going to TP it, but
And so they are helpers in the truest sense. They're trying to figure out how they can serve people.
That's fair. I think there's pieces of that. We actually laughed, my wife and I, the other day because so 2s go to 8 in stress, and I have a pretty strong pull to 8.
Yeah.
And
Pretty stressed.
well, I didn't think so, but then we actually read a joke Enneagram account where it's like 8s are like learning new cooking recipes that like to kind of distract themselves from the power they don't have, and they're
Yeah.
also like a list. They're learning a new skill, and I was like literally just starting story brand stuff and all this other stuff, and we realized like, oh, I'm really stressed out because I'm acting like an 8 for the past month, but like I wasn't acting stressed, but it was just these different things I was doing that were 2 going to 8, and so then we had to have a fun talk about that.
So are you stressed because you can't connect or serve people like you normally would?
I think it's more.
Wait, how do we get on talking to the 8s? I thought we were on the 2s.
No, he's a 2.
I am.
Oh, you're a 2.
I
He's
am
a 2,
a
but
2.
stress
Okay.
goes
Stress
to 8.
goes to 8.
Oh, okay, I got
But that is
confused.
a
2 wing 8, 4 ring
complicated,
5,
Joe.
You can't-
6
you
ring.
can't
Who gives a
wing
crap? I
8
mean,
if
this
you're
is
a
dumb.
2.
There's 16 types of Myers Briggs. There's 9 in the Enneagram.
Yeah.
It's less complicated.
No,
Let's
it's
go.
not.
Collect
It's
$200.
9 plus it's a math equation.
No,
9
it's
wing
not. And
whatever.
it's about
3
your-
divided by
just
6.
Follow the pentagram. It's
That's
easy.
right.
It's about core motivations.
Okay.
Are you stressed because
Anyway.
you can't connect and serve people like you normally do?
I think it was a little bit of that, like just the lack of this weird thing of I've always described it as like as a 2 when I walk in a room, what I think people are thinking are like what do they need from me? Like my perception of when I show up in a room is what do these people need from me? That's what I'm always thinking. And so then when quarantine started and I'm working from home and my wife is gone, there's no one around to
well,
need
the core
any-
fear is not to be needed,
yeah, it's
right?
not to be needed. So then all of a sudden I'm like making meals better than they've ever been, so that they're extra good. I'm learning a new skill to bring in more income. Like I'm
Look at me.
I'm
I'm here.
yeah, like
I'm
look
here
at
to serve
saying,
you.
like, yeah, I'm doing these things. So I think just the lack of just the simplicity of like, if we were in the office together, hey, do you need coffee? Now it's okay. I'll pay for a sorting brand certification and do that.
It's hard to love me over Zoom.
Yeah, exactly. I do my best though.
You do well.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Type
Joe.
3.
Okay, listen. My type 5 investigator went ahead and took the best of
would.
the Enneagram 3, the achiever.
As a 5, he's going to be better at the Enneagram than we are.
No.
Just give him enough time.
Bashful
No,
about
I'm
it.
just going to read the thing because, like,
Yeah.
yeah, I just took the best of. So here you go. If you're stressed, here's what stresses you. Right? You're often caused by stress by a sense of failure. Right? You're being unmasked in some way. Right? Because you're such an achiever. So you're dealing with feeling like you're sluggish. You go into procrastination. You fear you're going to end up being useless to people. You plunge into mindless distractions like Netflix, or you find the end of the internet or YouTube, which might be this
Welcome.
channel. Welcome. You
Nice.
found
Hello.
the end of it. Type
also,
3.
Chuck share Amazon.
Okay.
The hope and
Type
COVID.
3. It's a type 3, whatever. Okay. So if you're that person, if you're that achiever and you're in lockdown mode, right? And a lot of what you are going after isn't possible in the moment, the solution then would be to expand your focus and purpose. Find something else that will give you meaning. Like adopt a project, adopt a child, start with a cat, adopt
right.
something. Like put your focus and energy. Are you a 3?
No, I'm not 3.
Are you a 3?
No.
Okay. Well, then whoever this 3 is,
I wing 3.
They're probably
I
out
don't
there.
care
They,
about your wings.
they probably started a podcast.
Yeah. So I mean, you've got this pent up energy in the direction you were going. It came to a halt. You've got to refocus it in some way, shape, or form. So that's your best outlet, is to try and do that. Expand your focus.
And the fact that it came to a halt is not a failure. I think that's one thing 3 would really have to
it's a short term
think.
failure. 3.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
So your advice is
Yeah.
quit. Quit what you're doing.
Adjust, refocus for a moment.
Understood.
Like you can't go that route. Do not pass go. Figure out a
Pivot.
way around.
Yeah.
Like do something else for a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I feel like I delivered that in a very loving and compassionate way.
I think you did too.
beautiful.
I think I
Joe.
did too. Okay.
For a
4.
5.
Okay, 4. And you can jump in on this one because
Yeah,
your
I'm
wife
married
is
to a
4.
4.
Oh, you're
Yep.
married to a 4.
Okay, so
Okay.
core fear is not to have significance or identity. They want to be individualist.
Yeah.
Right? That is type 4. So they walk around with a sense of melancholy or dread, like on any given day. They're kind of like the artsy fartsy type.
Yeah, a little bit. My wife doesn't dive so much into her creative type. I think she needs to. I think she'd be really good in it. But yeah, she does kind of have that Chicken Little syndrome. Maybe not every 4 has that, but she has a little bit of the sky is falling. I know it. So I'm going to be protected inside. And that's at least my wife. I don't know if it is every wife or every person out there
Yeah.
that's a 4.
Wait,
But no.
say something. Does she listen to this podcast?
No. It's good. It's
Okay,
good. It's
good.
good. Okay.
Nah, she don't listen to this.
no,
You're good. Okay,
No,
all
but
right, yeah.
as far as that goes, though, my wife is covered with tattoos. Now, me, I use my tattoos as like it's my peacock feathers. Look at me. I want attention. Ask me about them. Let's talk about it. She doesn't care if anyone. She actually doesn't like the attention drawn to her. But she has 2 sleeves. She has hand tattoos. But she gets them because she likes them, which I totally respect. But that's a very different reason why I get my tattoos. I mean, it's same partly, but yeah, it speaks right into that creative identity. I want to be different. She would not feel comfortable being identified as the same as everyone else.
Yeah, they will make themselves different
yeah.
to have significance.
For them, yeah.
Yeah.
I remember reading, I think it was The Road Back to You, or it was even in a podcast about the Enneagram. They were talking about 4s, and it was a counselor who was an Enneagram counselor, and she was talking about 4s, and she had a couple, and the wife was a 4.
All right.
And when they were going through Enneagram and identified her as a 4, she broke down and said, I just can't imagine that there are other people in the world who are similar to me. Like, that's what broke her.
So that would for me would like bring my soul to like peace and whole. Like I'm not alone. Like the emo inside of me would like perk up. Like what?
Nice.
For them, I guess. Yeah, that's someone else has my name. Someone else is like me.
Yeah.
It's all the 4s. You're unique.
Wait,
You
did
are.
I miss?
Just like everybody else.
That's true.
Exactly. Did I miss this? Where is the 4 stressed?
So the 4 goes to 2 in stress.
I don't care about the numbers. Quit throwing math equations at me.
Math
I'm
wasn't
asking
Joe's
a
strong
simple
suit.
equation.
Well, ask him.
What
what
happens
his
when the
number
4
is.
is stressed?
They go to bed. And they just nap.
Okay.
And they just sit in their dread and their melancholy.
Wait.
Okay,
Ask
so-
me where my wife's at.
Where's your wife right now?
In bed.
Asleep. Okay.
So, I mean,
What
how
does
has
a
she
4
been this entire time?
Yeah. How has she handled the pandemic?
She's been practicing quarantine since I've met her.
Okay. All right. So what? How do they cope with stress?
I think it is. It is going off into their own world. Like, say we get into it, we have a squabble. She's gonna wall up and she's gonna be in her own mind. She'll kind of zone out. She wants her space. For me, that's not a thing. I need come closer. Let's work through this. She wants her space. That's something even in our marriage we've had to figure out, like the rhythms of how she works, how I work. But yeah, she kind of closes up in stress. And when she's not stressed, that's when you'll see her poke her cute little head out and see the world and say hi to friends.
It's like a human cat.
Yeah, no, that's real.
It's fair. Claws might be out going to
She
the
would
bed,
applaud you for
come
that.
out later.
Yeah,
there you
she's-
go.
Zach, we got to remember to send Tyler's wife a gift card for being on the podcast.
That's right.
5.
All right, I'm going to default to you. What are 5s doing during this time?
Loving it. It's like we're on vacation.
He was made for
I mean,
this.
for you, was this literally like as someone who has spent their whole life trying to be 6 feet away from people?
Yeah,
is
I mean, like,
this-
I don't understand why we can't do this permanently.
So,
like, here's the thing that I'm missing right now: the movie theater, right?
Oh man,
I
We're
wish.
sitting right next to one.
No, but there's not new movies coming out. There's not new things to stimulate my mind.
new content.
You know, and
Okay.
I'm done with Netflix and I've already found everything I want to find there. And
Okay.
everybody's recommendations keep getting worse and worse and worse. So if there's anything that's stressing me out, it's wasting my time with another piece of garbage content that somebody recommended, swearing
Yeah.
it's the best thing ever.
So
and
do
it's
you
not.
still listen to people's recommendations, or are you done with that?
No, I'm somewhat polite. I listen to them, but I'm not going to watch that
Yeah,
trash.
okay.
Because if it was good, I mean, I would have known about it ahead of time.
Joe, riddle me this. You say you were so about the quarantine, yet you've invited 10, 20 people, into your home?
No,
Don't
no,
tell the
sir.
government.
No,
Yeah.
sir. There are
Yes.
9 of us in this
There's
household.
4 of us
We
right
are
here.
4 here, plus our production crew. That's it. My wife and
transparent
kids,
max.
I sent, and they're in a hotel right now.
That's
14
right.
They are
days.
not. I abide by the laws, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, Joe is the atypical 5 also. You're the atypical everything. Except for the fact that you brought a list and you've studied and you've taken notes and you're now the master of whatever. I think most other 5s are at home like reading through the governor's most recent statement and like watching YouTube videos on virologists, and they have now mastered this disease.
Well, and that's
more
what I think is
than-
interesting about 5s is they're not even trying to prove any of that wrong. They're just going to know more
Yeah.
than everybody.
Maybe, but I feel like we're spending this time at least aiming it toward things we care about, like diving deeper into those areas.
So
like
what are
leveraging that
two of
time.
what are 2 of those things for you as a 5 right now?
My work, the mission, the things that I care about. I get to dive deeper into those things. Like, I don't care about studying about the virus.
Yeah.
But I do have more time than normal. And that's great, because now I get to apply it building and digging and doing stuff.
So would you say 5s are actually the least stressed of all the numbers during this pandemic?
I would say so. I mean, personally, there's always other circumstances that are beyond our control that might stress us out during this time. So, pandemic, great. Stock market crash on top of pandemic when I'm, an active trader. No, not so much fun. No, yeah. So I spent all my time investigating how I'm going to dig myself out of this hole.
investigating.
Ooh.
Funny. That's
The
type
investigator.
It is, and I use that word because whatever.
You sound boxed in.
That's right.
Oh, number 6, the Loyalist. Here's a Loyalist. They replay failures in their heads and wonder if they would have done things differently in the past, would it have made a difference? I love that loop. What if? Seems like a complete waste of time to me, but that's what you do. Are you a 6? Who's a 6?
No.
Anyone's a 6? I don't know.
You've
I
said that
get
with
lost.
every one you've done.
Well, he hasn't admitted to anything yet,
Joe.
so I'm asking.
Joe, your wife
Your
is
wife
a
is
6.
a
Oh, hi, honey.
She's not here. She's at the hotel.
She's at the hotel. I waved at the camera,
That's
not the
Skype.
couch behind the
Zoom.
camera.
Zoom.
Okay, all right. So anyway, so they stress over becoming stressed, which is funny to me. They potentially burn bridges and drive away friends, which I don't understand. I haven't experienced that with my wife yet. They become more competitive and focused on outward appearance, which and this means that they get on social media more to convince people that their life is like cool, like they're living the best life now. And I'm
Like,
like
the beach background.
Did your wife like start a
Zoom
TikTok
and-
during this?
no, she didn't start a TikTok. I feel like she posts like she normally posts, like, and it's her normal real self. But I think what I read most about type 6 is that the best stress reliever for them is to really double down on authentic relationships, to like press
Which
into
they're terrified of losing, right?
Well, or maybe they find it difficult to attain in the first place. It's a desire of theirs that they don't feel like they
So latch on to what's
fully
real.
have.
Stop trying to obtain what's kind of that pseudo love, that pseudo attention from internet. Is that kind of where it's going?
I guess, but in the title here, The Loyalist, I wouldn't. My wife is very loyal. She has not cheated on me in 20 years.
I don't know. She's at a hotel right now.
But that's not what I think when I think of a loyalist. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, how many different companies have you worked for, honey, who's not here in our studio in the last 7 years? Like 7 companies. That's not a loyalist. That's somebody who's like, hey, I'm here, I'm available, and I'm out when this sucks.
So if you work at her place of
But
work
is that
right now,
the driving friends away part?
No, she's got the same group of friends she's had for a long time.
But in a work setting, though, like, is there a willingness to burn? You said burn bridges. I'm just saying,
I
those are
don't
bridges that being burned.
it's not Myers
Now
Briggs.
we're
It
in a
doesn't
row.
matter.
Number 7.
This is what I got.
Number 7.
I'm a 7, Joe.
Oh, okay.
I'm a 7 wing 8.
It's because you could only count to 7.
Please
That is true.
Okay.
educate us on 7, or are we
Yes.
going to let 7 educate us on 7?
Explain me to the world.
This is
No, you explain yourself.
Oh.
You didn't
feel like there's
study.
one for you.
Okay, well, I'll explain myself through a story.
Okay.
Okay. Most 7s right now are probably on Priceline or whatever the.
You're gonna say drugs.
They're probably on drugs.
Yeah.
But if they're not, or if they are, they're on Priceline
Okay.
looking for cheap airfare, trying to take advantage and go on a new adventure.
True.
See something new, travel, just run away from all this stress. So I can't do that because I have a new kid and my wife is a 2 and we're just stuck. So what I do is I mask up and I go to Walmart and I go to the clearance aisle and it's like an adventure. I just hunt in the
Nice.
clearance aisle. And I've started buying Pokemon cards again. And so
Nice.
I buy Pokemon cards, and that's my like
is that like your own little
that's my
world, too? It's
escapism.
like,
Yeah.
when
And my
I'm
wife
doing this, none of the stuff out here exists.
exactly. That's how I'm
Just chase the next
distracting
dream.
myself from the stress or the fear. It's my form
The
of
world's
escapism.
not scary when you make your own world, friend.
And
You
so
know,
that's 7s. 7s, their back seats full of Pokemon card wrappers.
Nice.
it's good.
Yeah, that offered 0 insight whatsoever.
The 7s get it.
I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do.
It's not mine. It's Gunner's. Gunner, type me.
I mean, like there is, so it's almost
unpack
two
it.
directions. So it's either, so 7s just despise, hate any negative feeling, any stress, or the feeling of being tied down.
yeah, me jumping to
So-
9 companies would be normal.
Yeah, or
Like,
just
career
so,
or paying
so,
them out.
so take someone who doesn't want to be tied down, who doesn't want to be stuck in one place, and who doesn't want anything to be negative, and throw a global pandemic and a stay-at-home order in their face. They're going to do everything they can to avoid admitting that that is reality. Whether that's going outside when they're not supposed to, or going to get Pokemon cards to distract themselves and create their own world. Or they also do go to 1 in stress. So there's this tendency to, if everything's crumbling, well, if I can go create my own structure and absolutely stick to it, all the chaos will happen to other people, but I am untouchable.
Okay, I
And
can
that's the vicious cycle right there, because I have spreadsheets with my budget and we've cleaned our garage and tried to organize everything we can.
So there's
But
a dark side.
It stresses
There's a
me
dark
out, so
side.
I have to go back to Walmart and buy more Pokemon
Yeah.
cards.
Correct me if I'm wrong on this. I feel
Yeah.
like maybe it's an unhealthy version of a 7, but those are the guys who are going to like download The Sims, whatever version, and just lose themselves in it for possibly months.
Escapism, yeah, it's
Yeah,
possible.
yeah.
Yeah.
Live
Create
another
your own
life, yeah.
world.
Yeah, exactly. Does that make more sense, Joe?
It does. I have never met a man more addicted to his phone than Zach. So
Yeah.
I get it.
I think that's unrelated,
That's,
but
glutton.
Okay.
yeah.
There we go.
All right.
That is escapism. I mean,
You know.
okay, I'm a 7 wing 8, and so the 8 plays to like all my childhood authority issues. Like I call them 8
Nice.
holes, and maybe that's not fair,
Eh.
but they are the challenger. So they're gonna push back against stress, and they want power and control, and so they're gonna get that. And one ways that they can get that is through conflict. And so they're like, stay-at-home order, try and stop me. They're gonna go walk the streets,
Yeah.
or they're gonna argue with people on Facebook.
Not
They're
wear the
gonna
mask.
yeah.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, the best way to put it is a lot of 8s during coronavirus, their response has been to not respond. It's just business as usual. Like my wife's dad is an 8. He has been in the office every day safely, like within, it's a church, so there's some measures to take, but he's been at
The
work
Holy Spirit.
every single day. And like they're doing things pretty normally. I go to 8 in stress. I have honestly not worn a mask pretty much every chance I've gotten. I've pretty much done everything as normally as possible because bump the system. They can't tell me what to do. I'll be respectful as much as possible. But there is this like, it's almost prime time if you want to challenge the system. It's like the golden age of challenging the system because there's so much stuff that you're supposed to do, or the signs say it's highly encouraged for you to do this. We recommend you do this, so we're not going to do that. That's how I think an 8 is thinking. Like, well, it's not mandated, so I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah, they're pushing against the stress. They're doubling down, and they're more assertive in whatever form that takes.
Yeah, and the whole mentality is I win. Like, government's coming this direction, I'm coming against it, I win. Like, that's really, I think, the thought of an 8, for better or for worse.
So during this time, what would you say winning is for an 8? Like, I mean, not just what are they doing, but what should they do to cope with that and actually win?
I mean, I think there is like a level of, like I said, respect, and I mean, part of that is the joy of being married and being told when I go to 8, it's a little unpleasant if I'm not being controlled about it. And I think it is learning. Okay, there are some hills that are just not worth dying on. So I think, again, for me at least, I think the opportunity is the opportunity to learn. As far as, yes, it might feel great to assert yourself and your idea of how ridiculous all these stay-at-home orders are, or these parameters are, but maybe it's an opportunity to exercise some respect, even if it's not maybe respect for the government or the authority, or the respect of your loved one who doesn't feel comfortable with you challenging the system, and maybe taking a sabbatical from being so challenging all the time. I think that would be more restful than just finding every single thing that you can pick apart.
Yeah,
no, it's good.
And I'm just going to say, from all the other numbers, I mean, I think just practicing like radical self-awareness, like recognizing as a challenger in this season that there's some things we just don't know. Yeah. Not everything's black and white, and you don't have to assert power or control, like your knowledge on everyone. So just being empathetic and being slow and knowing that a challenger can be challenging.
Exactly.
So, type 9.
Oh my God, we got one more left. I don't have it in me.
Talk to me.
I was actually most intrigued by the 9.
Tyler.
Oh, well,
Are you the 9?
well, hey.
Oh my God.
Hello there.
She
You
is
finally
so
found me.
intrigued by you.
Okay,
Been waiting for so long.
Okay, Mr. Peacemaker.
Well,
To me, if there's any type that's more stressed out during this time, on paper, it seems like the 9, because disharmony and discord stress you out and make you feel extreme apathy towards everyone around you. You lose touch with your surroundings, it says. Each day starts to blend together in one indistinguishable apathetic tour of your life, or blur. You're under stress, and this is my favorite part, you start to blindly suspect vile or harmful intentions of others. You get nutty or scared. You look into far off conspiracies, and you turn into a psychopath.
100%.
A psychopath. Like
Oh,
the
man.
9 is like, if there's anyone that's gonna
Illuminati.
if there's anyone that's gonna go on a killing binge, it's the 9. It's the
you
peacemaker.
don't gotta watch out for
And-
COVID. Watch out for the 9s.
Yeah, this is crazy. I
Oh,
don't know.
man.
How much do you identify with that, Tyler?
You know, I'd say I'm kind of like you, and for your type, I deviate a lot from my type. I am by far the most 9 out of any of these. Parts of it don't fully resound with me as I think like a true 9 would. I know a few other people who are 9s where, I would say so. They get a little bit nuts. They start losing that control because we try and get peace together. We try and make everything peaceful and wrap everything up in harmony so that there is control in the outer world. When there's total loss of control, that means we fall apart inside. I'm not falling apart from this stuff. I think, like you said, different circumstances could make me fall apart. And I think I get a bit nuts. I don't know if I would go like total psycho, but
So how are you mitigating stress? What are you doing?
How many conspiracy theories have you read into?
Oh man, which ones have I actually have not dove into those too much. I think some of the biggest things is it really does come down to the self-awareness of knowing that you are gonna be okay. Life goes on past today, goes on past whatever is currently happening around, and honestly, trying to find peace in everything, knowing what's outside of your control. I mean, almost all of these come back to the control factor. It's all us trying to find control in one way, shape, or form, whether it's ignoring it, making peace among everything, being the challenger, and just bulldozing through what's out of your control. But I think for a 9, it really is letting loose that sometimes there is not peace, so do what you can do. Let the rest, ride.
Thanks for reminding us to just calm down and breathe.
Yeah, that's
I
right.
feel so much more at peace.
That's right.
So much wisdom.
For those of you watching
So
at
much
home,
more at
we have a
peace.
little paper right here, and the 9 says, "Remind everyone to calm down and just breathe. You're full of shit."
That's right.
Yeah, whatever.
With a mask on.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. 9 Enneagram types under stress.
I just want to point out that went twice as fast as a Myers Briggs would go because there's 16 of Myers Briggs.
And then you have
What?
there's like dash things.
Yeah, I won't pay attention to
Nobody
those
pays
though.
attention
That's
to the dash.
we don't care about the T at the end.
Just like this, it's the wing stuff. This is
No,
ridiculous.
it's all
Okay, the
trash.
wing stuff means something.
No,
Not to me.
it doesn't.
Not to me,
The mumbo
friend.
jumbo. I mean, we couldn't nail you into one spot, so you're part of this and a little bit of that.
But your origin is a
the-
one.
Sounds about right.
like-
Don't
And
forget your pieces of all of them.
that's right. But you might not ever be
I'm
this
just waiting
again.
until Jill implodes.
good.
I'm just trying to make it happen.
Okay. Well, let's. Do you have any parting words of wisdom that you'd like to end this podcast on? Because I sure don't.
It's inspiration. What are you, a 5?
Go to Amazon, Chuck's chair.
Just share, leave a review.
I don't know. We're all in this together. Everybody's different. That's true about Myers Briggs or Enneagram, right?
Spread
I
your
feel
wings
like
and
the
fly.
Peacemaker should be ending this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let us know if we're totally off. We went into this.
Yeah,
knowing
roast us in the comments. Let us know how it actually is.
We
Roast
judge
Joe.
you. We put you in a cage.
Who's better,
Let us know
Myers
what you think.
Briggs or the Enneagram? What do you think?
Yeah.
And why?
And there's a right answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why does the Enneagram suck?
What's the best song of all time, and why is it the Jurassic Park theme song?
What?
Doesn't it just make you happy?
Yeah. I think we should have ended this podcast 7 minutes ago.
About 9 minutes ago.
Yeah. All right.